I'll give you this talk in a manner of some stories, because I don't want to be too academic. I have come to realize as a politician, as a businessman also, some of the things that cut across in whatever you are pursuing as a man, in whatever you are pursuing as a Kenyan, as a citizen of the world. And I want to challenge all of us here. As a man, strive to be accountable and dependable. Strive to be accountable and dependable. When you close school and you go home, you are still a baby at your home. That you even this is fine. That your parents or your guardians can't take a break because they have a baby at home and you are a comrade. That every time somebody at home has to check on you. Oh, John, umekula supper? Otieno, did you take lunch? Your parent at home in Homa Bay is calling you here. You are a comrade at University of Nairobi to look after you and how you are faring. Gentlemen, now that you are a comrade already in the university, you are already a mature man. You should be a solution provider. You should no longer be a bother now to the people you left in the village and in the estates. And I can tell you, even us, when I was joining KU, mi vile barua ilikuja ya kuenda KU as an undergrad, it was then my business to know how I'm joining KU, including fees for the first sem. So I left Muranga. I had been a volunteer librarian in the school I was in. So venye tulikaribia kujoin university, I came here to Nairobi. Nikaenda industrial area, got a kibarua in a size company called Taita Estates. Did some vibaruas. By the time we were reporting as freshers, mi nilikuwa already niko na fees ya my first semester. Now of course nikalipa na nikaongeza help kidogo. And I can tell you the entire time I was in KU, no one came to check ati nafanya nini KU ama kuangalia nararanga wapi. Wewe ukiwa mwanaume huko, wewe ukilala nje lala. Ungangane kimwanaume. It's only one time my sister came, not necessarily to, it was just a visit kuniona tu, but not to check who jamaa anafanya nini na anararanga wapi. So when you are a comrade, this is the place where you start first of all developing that responsible person you want to become. And you become responsible by being dependable and accountable. So that people are no longer worried about what you are doing. It is you who is worried about whether your mother had some uga ya kupika. It should not be the other way around. And every time you think about this, because it's holistic, it's not just about being a comrade. It is also about in real life. There is a story that's given, maybe you have read it, about a king. It's a mythical story. A king who had gone by the roadside, in a road where the road had been blocked by a log. Muti ikianguka na ikaanguka kwa barabara. So the king was somewhere better. That time it was precious metals, gold. Na akaichukua. And then the king came from the place he was looking at. Na akaita huyo farmer. Akamwambia, actually, that past from today belongs to you. It was worth the millions of money now today. And he also promoted him as a man in the society to be in the king's court. Because of all the people who had passed that road, he had exhibited responsibility that does not only enhance his own convenience, but also the convenience of the other people. So malipo yake ikakuwa hapo hapo instantly, but also in the long run, his livelihood was improved from that day. Many times when we are here in the university, we are in our homes, we get jobs, we become members of the society. We only want to look inwards. What is my own convenience? Without looking at the convenience of the general population. Responsibility, accountability stretches beyond you. It also stretches to others. So that you can sleep late at night, not just thinking about you and your convenience, but also thinking about others, thinking about the world, thinking about Kenya. Because when we make the world a better place, even us, our lives are enhanced. As a man, number 2, you have to be forthright and firm. There is no man mtu wa kuyubayuba na upepo. Forthright and firm comes in even in decision making. You've come all the way. You attended a day school in your home. You attended a national school. You came to the University of Nairobi. But because you are frivolous, when people say, let's mock this, then you are jumping in the bandwagon. Let me also try. When people say we have to go clubbing, without even knowing whether there is utility in that, you jump in the bandwagon. If you have to club because you know you are getting utility out of it, and it's your decision. Whatever decision you are making, let it be your firm, forthright decision. Let it not be a wavering decision that is influenced by the opinion of others. But then when you consider your opinions, what you hear called considered opinions, they are called considered opinions because they are not just opinions from the air. You have been able to hit it on the wall and you have tested those opinions. Once you have formed those opinions about you and your life, then be firm and defend them. And you defend them in terms of doing, but also in terms of speaking. So whatever you think is right, defend it. And you owe no one an apology. Many times when you're in such an institution where we are likely to have hard mentality, most of our decision making is based on, watu watanibeba aje sasa? Watu watanichukulia aje? Watu wagani? In 4 years utaona nani hapo sasa? The friends you had in your primary schools, how many do you have now out of that? The ones who are your best friends in high school, how many are still your best friends to date? That should tell you the graduation of friendship. Life is dynamic. You are likely to shed off your older friends. You're not going to make them your enemies, but you're not going to be as close. So many times we make a far-reaching decision based on pleasing my current friend. Your current friend may not necessarily be your tomorrow's friend because life is dynamic. You may relocate to the US. You'll have new friends there. You'll go work in this farm. There will be new friendships there. So be forthright and firm. And even in your leadership, because even here I'm sure I am talking to leaders of today and tomorrow. Be firm. Whatever you think is right, defend it. And don't defend it just because you want to be seen in the gallery. Defend it because you believe you should defend it. And of course that means also being courageous. There is something I want you to keep studying called emotional intelligence. I'm sure you've heard about it. But I want you to, because siku hizi uko na phone, badala tu ya kuangalia reels, some of these things may also be good and beneficial. Keep on polishing your emotional intelligence so that if you have an A and then you have a first class or a second upper, when people look at you, do they see that first class in you? That forms part of the general intelligence. When you are here in campus, yes, hostel, library, hostel, library, hostel, library. If that was the world, the ideal world, every village should be having a hostel and a library. The ideal world is more broader than that. So cultivate you as a holistic person, not a person who can only be described through hostel, class, and library. A holistic person volunteers in leadership roles even when there is nothing to gain from it. A holistic person, saa zingine unakuwa kiberebere. Kiberebere is where you stick your neck out. And you, by sticking your neck out, you start being given responsibilities you never had. And it's upon those responsibilities that you shape yourself. One day, when I was a student leader in KU, I was the academic secretary. We attended the Senate executive, it was the full Senate meeting. So Professor Mogenda was our vice chancellor. And I was there with a suit. Kuna mtu anaweza nitoa jia, mimi ni student leader. We were representing comrades in the Senate with the chairman. Utanitoaje jia, comrade power. So mimi nimeenda pale meeting, maprofesa wamejaa, heads of departments. Then we were discussing something about seeking for internship opportunities for comrades. So the chair was there, the VC. Then I am there raising my hand to give a point. Then I'm given an opportunity. Si hall imejaa. Senate inakuanga kubwa. There are not few people. So imejaa watu wengi. So I rise. Naanza kusema story ya kutafutia comrades, internships. Then along, nikiwa katikati ya kupeana my brief speech, nikasahau chenye nilikuwa nasema. I was wishing the ground ipasuke inimeze because of embarrassment. You know, I'm telling you now, it doesn't seem like it's heavy. It is until it happens to you now. Uko mbele ya CU, ulikuwa unasema kitu, ukiwa katikati usahau. Na hall imejaa mko CU, ndio ulikuwa unaita preacher. Uko katikati, because you are so nervous. Uhang. I was so disappointed with myself. I was so embarrassed. But after that meeting, I decided I can't live down forever. I have to wake up from the ground, na nijipaguze vumbi na niendelee. And I started learning about public speaking. So that day, which was the biggest trigger for me, that when you're invited somewhere to talk, be prepared. And also, it also helped me in terms of easing pressure and easing anxiety when you are talking before people. Many people, including the best public speakers, they say that this is the hardest art there is. But it never seems so when you are listening. And when you are used. It's very difficult when you are developing. So I'm here to challenge you. When you've tried to speak before people and you are not too successful, that was never a way to tell you you are not a public speaker. It was a way to tell you you can be a very good public speaker, lakini wajibike. Na uanze kujitrain. Whatever you have failed in, it was not a way of telling you get out, you don't belong here. It was a way of telling you, go and prepare better. You will actually succeed among all the people you got in this hall. Because out of that embarrassment, I can say, maybe out of the people who are in that hall, maybe after that, I have had a privilege to talk to more people than all the people who are in that hall that day. You get what I'm saying? So emotional intelligence is beyond public speaking. It's about how you harness your emotions. It's about your patience. It's about your facial expression. It's about everything else other than the grade you get that starts in for you. Some things are never by default. For example, when you watch somebody, let's say Xi Jinping, the president of China, and you watch Vladimir Putin, you never see them in a meeting, smiling unnecessarily, laughing. There is a way, even when you sit with that person, over time they have been able to harness themselves. They are banal. Banal meaning, when I'm speaking to you, nikiongea na wewe, I can learn so much about you without you uttering a word. Because I'm watching at you, ukiongea, I'm seeing more than you are speaking. Now those kind of leaders, and that's what I want you to be, have been able to harness themselves they do not unnecessarily exhibit emotionalism, because emotionalism is a weakness. So when Brad Putin is doing a bilateral somewhere, you never see him laughing, forgetting, facial expressions. The same way he started, he says, even if you do something so funny, he'll grin a little bit and go back to default settings. Look at Xi Jinping. Every time, look at his photos, the ones you know, and all the TV's interviews you have ever seen him. Same facial expression. Why? You are representing over 1 billion people, Chinese people. You can no longer afford to be emotional, including not emotional in terms of doing, emotional even in exhibiting. So what I'm trying to say, start knowing yourself early, know your weakness. I can't speak before people. Start learning how to be a better person. Start seeing that, or learning about yourself. You forget a lot when you're speaking to people. Hizo ni tujinga, uodoe. Ukipewa mic una shake. It doesn't tell you you throw the mic. It tells you you start perfecting it, getting more opportunities, harnessing internal courage, and shedding off anxiety. Emotional intelligence is all that route. It's bigger than what I've said. Because of time, you read about it. It will help you, believe you me. Resilient. Resilient as a man. Hizi vitu unajua tunazisema hapa, zinakaa tu class. Tumezisikia hizi vitu from primary school. Hata high school tukasikia. Yani hata uni tunaongelewa story ya kuwa resilient. Maybe the reason they are repeated is because of how far-reaching they are. The most celebrated US president is called Abraham Lincoln. When you see Abraham Lincoln in the photo, what you see there is not only the former president of the US. You see resilience in a photo. In the Kenyan setup, a man vies for MCA, he doesn't win. He wins for MP, he doesn't win. He wins for Senate, he doesn't win. He vies for Senate, he doesn't win. He vies as a running mate to be vice president of the US. Their ticket collapses. You know, saa zingine tukisema hizi vitu zinakaaga tu story. Hebu jiweke hapo kwa hizo shoes. You are a Kenyan, you vie for MCA, unaanguka. MP, unaanguka. In subsequent years, for Senate, ukaanguka. To be running mate, now president, ukasema nimeanguka hizi zingine zote wacha nikuwe running mate. Pia hiyo mnaanguka. Unavai president, unapita. And after passing and after the victory, you become the most far-reaching American president who united the US to be what it is today. Gentlemen, as I'm speaking to you, the small things you passed, zile zinafanya roho yako karibu ina crash. I am here as your fellow man to tell you, that's nothing. You have not done anything yet. For you to be a man who can be far-reaching in terms of impact later, those small failures you have had, they should only be part of building you. They should never be part of putting you down, because they are nothing. This guy had even a mental breakdown. Juu ya kuanguka hizo vitu zote. Then anapita kuwa president wa US. Na anakuwa the most far-reaching, the most celebrated, the most remembered. As a man, you cannot be anything else other than resilient. Saa zingine mimi naongea hivi saa hii na mic. Naongea hivyo kwa sababu that's what I believe in. Na resilience ni also, even when there are hiccups in politics, in your academics, in leadership, those hiccups, already you preempt them because you already knew you were coming. So I'm here. So hakuna kitu ya kukushtua kama mwanaume. No one. And I think it's at this point I should tell you, in this world, you as men, you must only always fear God, no other person, no other situation. Na mimi nawaambia kama mtu wako siasa. And I also want to tell you, I'm telling you what I practice. Mimi hii dunia siogopi binadamu yeyote. None. But I only fear God. Hata huu jamaa unaogopa hawezi manufacture hata oxygen yake ya 2 minutes. Unamuogopa juu ya nini sasa? Abiwe a manufacture oxygen yake hawezi. Then akuogopa kwa nini? You know, that gives you now, I'm not just not talking about people. I'm talking about situations. A situation comes, sometimes you see hii sasa hii imenigonga ile mbaya. But ile inakugogesha kwa ukuta, it's making you stronger and harder. I went to the best primary school there was, the best university there was. Akakobolewa hata nyumba outside campus, asiharibiwe huko. After that, akatoka, akatafutiwa job na mzazi wake. And in between, akapatizwa at the right time, akawekelewa mkono at the right time. Ukiangalia saa zingine most of the time, those normal, they also live normal lives. Me, I never came here to talk to you to live normal lives. Normal lives where you just go through the world, no one notices and you exit. No. As a comrade here, I came here to talk to you because you form the critical mass of people who should impact the world in a better way. And you can always do that when you are resilient. There is no storm that comes unaogopa. Unaifesi hivi. Either inapita ama mnapambana nayo. Unaniangaliaje? Comrades power. Lastly, ndio niende kwa business and investments briefly. Wacha niwapee ka story kidogo, because ambition pia husaidia. Ambition ni usilive by chance. Unaona venye you just live by chance. Uko tu hapa UN, ile itakuwa ikue. Una graduate, sawa tu niende nikang'ang'ane kama wale wengine. Right from here, you must start thinking about you, what you'll be in the next many years to come. Na story nawapea mimi ni real. Mimi nilitoka primary school hapo village, nikaenda high school hapo tu village. Huko high school nikashona viatu from first year. I was a cobbler kwa wale wanafunzi wengine, because I needed pocket money. It was a boarding school but almost a day school. You know those boarding schools that are almost a day school? That one. It had actually become boarding like 2 years before we joined. It was previously mixed, first of all mixed boys and girls, but also mixed in terms of day and boarding. So by the time I was joining, it had been made pure boarding. And it had been made pure, no, it was still, I think, mixed men and women, boys and girls. So nikaigia hapo, kaanza kushona viatu. Lazima ningetafuta pocket money nikae kama wale wengine. Second, form 2, kuanza kuoperate canteen ya hiyo shule. Ilikuwa inaitwa Kiabugi, tukagoma sana, ikabadilishwa